Welcome back to On the Beat. Isaac here again this week, and this week is going to be winter weather driving. Patrick Wooten rejoining me from Richard Swartz and Associates. And first off, Patrick, I mean, we don't even get winter weather here, right?
You're in the weather, you know that.
Well, I would know that, yes. And we do get winter weather,
That's right.
On the off chance that ice, snow, extreme cold, things like that happens, you're going to need some insurance. So we'll get ready for that. How can you get your car ready for winter weather driving?
That's right. Well, as you know, we've had a few cold snaps already, so you may go out and you see your tire pressure is already lower because we go from hot to cold. Make sure your tire pressure's on point.
Yes.
Huge difference. If it's low, you have less control, so you got to do that. Make sure your headlights work.
Yeah.
You know, make sure that's important. Make sure your windshield wipers work, you know, because you're going to go out and if your car's frosted up or we're getting one of those heavy winter storms, you got to be able to see the road. So the key is make sure your vehicle is in the best possible operating manner, you know, it can be, because you never know what the road conditions are going to be in the wintertime.
Yeah, speaking of, you know, on the off chance we do get snow, what should you actually be worried about in terms of maneuvering, you know, your car around it?
That's right.
Or through it.
And we don't get snow that often, so we don't have the experts of people in Colorado or Utah who are used to driving in snow all year long. So the key is slow down. If you have, well, first, if you don't have to get out, don't get out, as you tell people.
Yes, of
But
course.
if you have to get out, slow down. Always increase the distance to the vehicles in front of you is really important. Also, make sure that your headlights are on. You want to be visible. You want to be, you know, seen that's out there. And again, it's all about tire pressure. That is the biggest concern in the winter, is having inadequate tire pressure.
All right, and that's some good advice. And speaking of tires, four-wheel drive doesn't necessarily mean that it's any safer too, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we think about with all our hunters, you have four-wheel drive and we're going to get out. You'd rather have four-wheel drive than not. Sure. But you can just as easily lose control on snow or ice with four-wheel drive as you can with a two-wheel drive car.
That's a good advice here. So the time change, how does that affect, you know, driving safety? You know, sunrise time and sunset time, you know, kind of shifting around.
Yeah, that's a big one. I mean, as you know, leaving in the evening, it's dark when you're going home. More accidents occur in the evening hours than they do typically during daylight hours. Sure. So, and deer, as you recently got to deal with, you know, it's dark, so you got to be more alert for animals that are jumping out in the roadway. So definitely, again, make sure your headlights are working, make sure you slow down, give yourself plenty of time. Those are kind of the key for winter. It's kind of like, just keep it simple. You know, do the basics, keep it simple, arrive alive, give yourself extra time. That's really the key during winter driving.
Absolutely. So again, assuming that the worst has happened, what happens, you know, if you are involved in a winter weather accident? You mentioned, you know, animals, but, you know, so with me hitting a deer, is that a winter weather accident, or is that an unfortunate, you know, just accident in general?
You know, it could be considered both. I mean, and unfortunately that happens a lot, but like any accident, whether it's with a deer or whether it's with another vehicle, you want to make sure you're okay or anyone else is okay.
Call
and then
the
you
police.
always call the police.
Sure.
And then at the same point, then if you need to, call Schwartz and Associates, because we can give you, you know, guidance on how your claim needs to proceed.
So I mentioned the deer accident, but I guess a more specific one would be, you know, you spin out on an ice-covered roadway, right?
Yeah, you spin out, and that's a key, and we've seen that. If you spin out and let's say your car stalls, you've really got to make sure, throw those hazards on, to make sure you're giving other motorists notice that, hey, I've created a dangerous condition. Sure. You know, that's really important, and that's what you need to be alert. You've got to be alert to your surroundings, because you never quite know what's going to happen in the winter.
Just be careful and just keep in mind that it can happen to you.
That's right.
Don't be invincible.
Exactly.
All right, good advice, Patrick. Appreciate you joining us this morning. If you have any additional questions or need any additional info, it is listed there on your screen. We'll be right back after this.